Hi, my name is Michael Wolf, and everybody seems to think I'm an asshole. And I think I know why now. So I want to try and explain this. Since I'm putting this up on two formats, TikTok and YouTube, I'm going to try and explain it briefly and then in detail. The brief explanation for my TikTok viewers is that when I was 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old, when I was 4 years old, my mother abandoned us, 3 children. And I was 4, my youngest brother would have been 2, my oldest brother would have been 6. Going on 7, I would have been going on 5, my youngest brother on 3, of course. I believe we were abandoned for about a year and a quarter, so about 15 months. And during that time, I don't believe anyone stayed at the house on a permanent basis or that we stayed anywhere else. I believe that we were alone most of the time when we weren't in school. So, I believe what happened is, and I know that I did this, I believe what happened is that I decided, because no one else was taking responsibility, that I would make sure that we survived, that we were healthy, that we were taken care of, because no one else was doing so. So I believe this was the first instance of me taking responsibility where no one else would, which means I took charge and showed maturity where no one else did. And this has been a theme in my life. If there is an emergency situation or anything looks amiss, I have the tendency to want to fix it. So my tendency to interfere, which people perceive of me as an asshole for, is because my mother abandoned us when I was 4 years old, and I was forced to take care of my older and younger brother because no one else would. So that's what makes me an asshole. So I'm going to pause this and come back and talk more detail about it, but this is the TikTok version. So if you want to read more, watch more, hear more, learn more about it, come over to YouTube, follow the link. Okay, so to the details. We lived in Norwalk, California, and we lived in a 3-bedroom house? Three-bedroom house that my father had, by that time, added an addition to a master bedroom in the back, and or was in the process of it. And I somehow, for some reason, seemed to believe there might be a body buried under there. So, maybe do a sonogram, or what do they call it? Sonar under the new addition. Anyway, wouldn't surprise me if my father buried somebody there, probably a child that he murdered or something, I don't know. But anyway, obviously didn't have the best childhood. So my mother was cheating on my father was cheating on my mother, nobody was getting along with anybody. It's so bad that my older brother is the only one that I can confirm is my father's son. I do not believe that I am, and I am quite certain, and so is my older brother, that my youngest brother is not my father's son. So we have 3 children with 3 different fathers in the same household, and a mother who wasn't there and a father who wasn't there. So nobody was there to take care of anybody. My mother left, and we were left to fend for ourselves. We had babysitters, we had neighbors. I'm thinking babysitters included John Lovejoy, who sexually assaulted us. The neighbor, Elizabeth Alvarado, was that her name? Betsy Alvarado was the mother, Elizabeth was the daughter. Rachel Alvarado was an older one. So this is a Mexican family that was long ago came to the United States. I remember her teaching me how to cook. We had neighbors next door that helped. I don't remember them on both sides. We had a neighbor across the street, a couple neighbors down. Apparently there was a neighbor that helped us out in a cul-de-sac across the way once in a while, because Carol said that she remembered hearing this woman tell how I would go over there to ask for food or stuff like that. So I was the one that took responsibility. I made sure we had food. I remember making sure my brothers had lunches for school, or my older brother had lunch for school. I made sure we had food whenever we had food. I remember cooking I remember messing up by, because they didn't have microwaves back then, and we had chili that was made, I think, by my father or my grandfather, or maybe even by me, and we had to reheat it, and I put it in the plastic bowls and put it in the oven and melted the bowls. So I made mistakes and learned from them, and in this process, two things happened. I became the person who was always the adult in the room, and I became resented for it. Because, number one, I stopped playing. I mean, 4 years old, and you're responsible for making your lunches for your brother, making sure you're all fed, making sure the house is kept clean, not burned down, things like that. You don't play child's games anymore. I didn't watch Romper Room anymore. I didn't play whatever they played with back then. There was no toys for me. I didn't have teddy bears or any of that shit. I was in charge. I was taking care of things. I was being responsible. Let's see some of the details I recall. This was after all of our trips up to, I think, San Luis Obispo. Lompoc. I think Lompoc was our last one up there, and I broke my head open. For some reason, I'm remembering that as being at 5 years old, but I know my mom left me when I was 4 or 5, so weird. But anyway, I don't remember the exact year. I don't remember exactly how old I was. I assume I was just turning 5, or had just turned 5, so I was right at 5 years old. And I'm taking responsibility for my family. And how do my siblings respond to this? Especially after, when my stepmom comes along, and all of a sudden I'm not in charge anymore. But I still don't want to play. So I got hated, big time. I got hated by them, and I got resented by my stepmother. Because I had been the one taking care of things. And she knew this. She comes in and sees me doing this, doesn't like how I do it, pushes me out of the fucking way, and treats me like shit. I mean, she hated me. First instance I meet her, and she'll deny this. She says it was something completely different. We just spoke about this. But she offered us mint chocolate chip ice cream, and I declined politely because it wasn't a flavor I enjoyed. And she bitched at me for it. Well, gee, you're rude, aren't you? Balls me out like I'm an adult. Yeah, what does that tell you? Because I was behaving like an adult. So I've been an adult since I was essentially 5 years old. So, no, I don't play the games that you people play. No, I don't play with toys like speedboats and jet skis and things like that. Yeah, I have been known to play around once in a while, but I don't live to play. I live to live. And I realize that all of the problems I'm having in life are because of this. Because I'm the adult in the room. I get harassed here in La Paz by pangos and other people on boats come around and harass me, and I'm anchored. And they accuse me of harassing them. I'm fucking anchored. I ain't going fucking anywhere. How can I be going to bother someone if I'm fucking anchored? Okay? People come to me to be harassed? Yeah, it's because I'm adult. Because I'm the adult in the room. And when I say I'm the adult in the room means this planet. So far as I can tell. No one else has stepped up and taken responsibility. No one else is saying, hey, look, global warming is fucking us all over. This is what it really is. No one else is saying, hey, all this social strife, all this bullshit about what's going on. Oh, this is what it really is. So everyone just assumes I'm just another child pretending to be an adult, not realizing that I'm actually the only adult in the room. IQ is measured as 137, or 144 if you prefer. That, 137, comes out to 99.28 percentile, which means that in a room full of 10,000 people, 72 of them might be more intelligent than me. And this is, by the way, with an IQ test that was very grossly underestimating my IQ. So it's very likely that in a room full of everybody on the planet, I am the smartest. Because in every instance I've ever been, I have always been the smartest one in the room. And the one who takes responsibility. That's why people don't like me, is because I criticize everything. I am the perfectionist. I want to see everything done right. And right means right, not my version of right, not your version of right. It means the absolute perfect version of right. So now I have to deal with the fact that everybody hates me because I'm the only mature one. Well, actually, I think everyone else has to deal with that. Because I've done my job. I'm mature. I've been raised by myself to be a mature, responsible human being. I am responsible for my impact on this planet, for example. Let me see, the last time I drove a vehicle, purchased gasoline for and drove a vehicle would have been, September of, no, I did that in October. In October of 2021, I had to drive my Suburban out of impound to my storage unit, where it's been basically ever since. I think that's the last time I filled it up with fuel. And that was almost 2 years ago. I've used maybe 2 gallons of gasoline in the last year for my dinghy, but I do use quite a bit of propane, almost 3 gallons a month. So, yeah, I'm taking responsibility for my impact on this planet. I live in a sailboat. I generate my own electricity. You can hear it in the background. Those are my 2 wind generators. One of them is the one you hear the most. It doesn't count the 16 solar panels I have generating solar power for 3 different plants. I have a small 12-volt system for the starter and the electronics on the boat that doesn't get touched otherwise. I have a 12-volt house system with 10 L24 batteries, and I have a UPS with, at the moment, 80 9-amp hour batteries, powering my freezer and anything else I decide to plug into it, like a fan or a water heater when it's, enough sun. So I have taken responsibility and generate my own power. I don't impact this planet adversely in any way. I live on a boat, I eat very responsibly. I eat nixtamalized white corn, which is completely eliminated of any form of plant matter in it. It's just pure starch and meat, red meat. That's the only things I eat. Well, actually, there is one impact I have on the planet, and that is that I am using mineral water out of plastic bottles because there's no other resource for it. So, as soon as I figure that out, then my impact in that regard will be almost nothing. So, I'm the adult in the room, and everyone else is just children playing around. So, of course, I'm the asshole. So, maybe consider that. Maybe don't be so jealous that I'm the adult in the room. Maybe don't be so rude or mean, and just consider, hey, look, I know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm the adult. Don't be an asshole to someone just because he's taking responsibility where no one else is. Please. You don't deserve it.